What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here to bring you a video discussing the rumor that's starting to get hot quickly, and that's Brandon Aiyuk maybe going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's get into it, guys. So, before we started, comment down below: will Brandon Aiyuk get traded, or will he stay with the Niners in 2024? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section down below. But let's get into it, guys. So, I've been seeing a rumor bubble on social media really since late last night when Calvin Ridley joined the Titans on a massive 4-year, $92 million deal, $50 million guaranteed. And a lot of people were saying, hey, where will the Jaguars go to next? I have a video out there I did a couple days ago. Soon as T. Higgins requested to be traded, started free agency, I put a video out immediately saying him to the Jaguars makes sense, rejoining former college teammates at Clemson, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. And that's my prediction there. But Brandon Aiyuk Brandon Aiyuk to the Jaguars does make sense. He is better, in my opinion, than T. Higgins and Calvin Ridley. I believe he's younger, too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure about that, but I believe he is. And I know he's for sure younger than Calvin Ridley. He's pushing 30. But Higgins, probably around the same age, but I do like Aiyuk more than I like Higgins. And he would be an upgrade. Definitely will be an upgrade. He would be great in Doug Peterson's system with Trevor Lawrence, and also if he were to be traded, the biggest thing we have to get over, the biggest hurdle is would the Niners request the first round pick from the Jaguars? The Jaguars have pick 17. That's the biggest question I think needs to be answered, because I think if the Jaguars does trade for Brandon Aiyuk, they definitely will have to pay him, extend him long term. They were in the ballpark for Calvin Ridley. I would think they would definitely be in the ballpark, even a little bit more, to pay a younger, better receiver like Brandon Aiyuk. So I think that's no problem. But the way to get him, are they going to give up pick 17? And that's the biggest hurdle. To me, if I'm the Jaguars, I wouldn't be opposed to doing it. Looking at their roster, they don't really need too much. You have other picks, second, third, two fourths. Let me see, I'm looking now, fifth, two, six, and a seventh. So you don't, obviously first round talent is better than the other, later round guys, in theory. But, you don't really need a first round pick this year if I'm the Jaguars. Have weapons everywhere. You have a decent offensive line. You can fill gaps and plug in with the other picks you have. So if I'm the Jags, I'll be all in. I will give you that first round pick, that pick 17, quick as I don't know what, and whatever else you kind of want with it, packaged with it, maybe one of those fourths or a future pick or something. But that pick 17, if I'm a Jags fan and if I'm a Jaguar organization, can definitely go to get Brandon Aiyuk on the squad. And I think the Niners could use it. This receiving class is pretty heavy in receivers, obviously. One of the better ones we've seen the last, 5 to 10 years. If you were to rank it as far as talent goes, we'll see how it end up going on the field. This class is pretty strong. So, they can get someone at pick 17. I think they have, pick 29, something like that, whatever it is. So they have some good picks. No, they have not pick 29, pick 31. So if this were to happen and they demand pick 17, they would get pick 17 and pick 31. I think you could definitely replace Aiyuk, or try to, with someone good at pick 17, and then you'll feel another need, maybe a lineman, or maybe vice versa, a lineman at pick 17, one of the better linemen, and then you can fill in Aiyuk's role with another wide receiver. I seen Niners fans kind of respond to the rumor on social media saying they would rather trade Debo than Aiyuk. That makes all the sense in the world. I did a video right after the Super Bowl once the highlight all 22 film came out. I did a video dissecting Debo's performance, and the whole year, in my opinion, Debo was off. He was good, not great. And since being paid in 2022, he's been good, not great. And only getting older, even also piling on more injuries, I definitely think the Niners would prefer to trade a guy like Debo more than they would to trade Aiyuk, who's younger, who's better, who's in my opinion, a way better, more technical wide receiver than Debo Samuels. Debo's a good Swiss Army knife. He can disguise as a receiver, but he's kind of just a overall threat with the ball in his hands. So just finding the ball, kind of a you normally think of gadget guys as speedsters. Like my Falcons just got Rondale Moore. He's been a gadget guy. Other guys are gadget guys. You want to kind of consider them as speedsters, but he's a physical gadget guy, being Deebo Samuel. That's why it's so hard to find guys like him. And there's guys built like him, similar size, similar speed, but it just doesn't pan out the way Deebo does. He's a special talent. Don't get me wrong about saying he's not a true. I'm not saying he's not a true wide receiver, but he's different. So he has to get him the ball and scheme him the ball in certain ways, because sometimes in certain coverages or certain matchups, he's not going to win those matchups, as we've seen with Trent McDuffie versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So we'll see where that goes there about him being traded in the future. But I do think at some point in time, either trade deadline or most likely, if they start the season, if the Niners start the season with Debo, he's going to stay the full year. But next summer, or next offseason, I would say maybe, Debo is moved on from, but we'll definitely see there. Had to pay Brock Purdy, and to keep the team good, keep the team and make the team better, you have to make some tough moves sometimes. But going back on topic. Brandon Aiyuk, him to the Jags, I would definitely love it. Him, Gabe Davis, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, they'll be nice. That would be nice for sure. And people right now are talking about the fact that he's following those guys. I know for sure I seen a report that he's following Gabe, he's following Lawrence, and I think Christian Kirk as well. I don't really put stock behind that stuff. I see what Jerry Sneed is doing from the Chiefs. I see what he's doing, but he's kind of in a different situation. He's actively being traded. Ayuk not so much. So if you don't know, L'Jarius Sneed, Chiefs star cornerback, who's most likely going to be traded this offseason, he's been under Chiefs. He's been under Colts players' comments. Tweeting stuff or posting stuff, fire emojis and stuff like that. So seeming like he's going to be a part of the squad pretty soon. Most players don't do that. So we'll definitely see what happens there. But I don't really take too much stock in it. These guys are friends. These guys have probably partied together, been around each other, and they're in the same field. Just like growing up, it's a different example, but you follow players, other high school players you played ball with or went to school with that you know of from other people, or just been around a couple times here and there, or went to the draft combine with. So stuff like that is what I think, going on there, and just respect other good players. But I could be wrong. It could be something real there. I don't follow people's or keep track of who they're following, who they're not. I just see it from social media, from people posting it. So I don't know who else Ayuk is following that's not on the Jags, but I know people are pushing real heavy the agenda that the Jags are going to trade him or trade for him. I think it's possible. If I were to guess, probably closer to the draft than not. I think the draft is. I have to pull it up here. I keep thinking for some reason the draft is in June, but it's in April, late April, April 25th to Saturday, April 27th is when the draft time period is. I think we get a trade probably during the draft, right before the draft. I think that's something that we get there if we're going to get a Brandon Aiyuk trade at any time. I think it'd be closer to draft time. They're going to spend this. I think the Niners and John Lynch and these guys and the organization will spend time with Aiyuk or talking to him or his agent, trying to get something done. And if in a month's plus time they can't get anything done, I think that's when the trigger might be pulled on Aiyuk going somewhere else. But there are other options also, so we have to also be aware of that as well. For Jags fans who are getting too hyped, there are other options for Aiyuk for him to be traded to. But I really, really like him going to the Jaguars. I did a prediction video maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago now, maybe, on Aiyuk going to the Commanders. I still love that move a lot. Him going with Cliff Kingsbury, Terry McLaurin, most likely Drake May makes a lot of sense in my opinion. And also, if you notice, and I'm going to keep saying this too, if you notice, the rumor is Curtis Samuel, who's a free agent, who was the number 2, 3 receiver, whatever you want to know, I guess behind Dotson and McLaurin. Some people have him better than Dotson. I don't know who, but some people do. But if Samuel doesn't return to the Commanders, they didn't sign a receiver. So it's just Jahan Dotson and it's just him and Terry McLaurin right now. If they don't bring anyone else in, at least anyone else of stature in, you only have a big two there. I'm really still loving the Commanders giving them multiple picks, maybe a first rounder in the 2025 draft or something else valuable that they might like. And I think they might win over on getting Aiyuk because they might be desperate to add someone even more than the Jags. The Jags have a good roster. The Jags have a good offensive roster already. The Commanders is cool, but you want to have your rookie quarterback, a lot of weapons and make his job a lot easier. Who better than a super separator like Aiyuk, pairing him with good talent like McLaurin, like Dotson, like Zach Ertz. So, that's something to watch out there for as well. I think the Commanders, and not just being biased to my prediction, but, just doing the research, just looking at every team's landscape and how everybody's looking, the Commanders can definitely use a wide receiver one. McLaurin, in my opinion, I said this during that video as well, he's a good receiver still, more of a high-end 2 option in my opinion. Dotson, a low-end 2, high-end 3 option. So number one receiving option in my opinion is missing from the Commanders. So, I would watch out for the Commanders getting Aiyuk, but we'll see. We'll see. I could be off there, but even Aiyuk might just sign an extension with them. So we just might be with the Niners. So we just might be wrong altogether. But we'll see how everything shakes out. It's gonna be fun during the draft, leading up to the draft. I expect more moves, more trades. See what happens to T. Higgins. See what happens to some other guys as well. So that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next time.